Yes, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, I'm delighted having you all here, not only at the Austrian Parliament, but in the plenary hall. And I want to tell you that early in the morning tomorrow we will discuss that, hopefully in a good way, what you are discussing from a scientific kind of options, I want to say. So let me say a very warm welcome and it's a big pleasure to have you here at the Austrian Parliament. I want to tell you that we have a long tradition in hosting symposia such as today's. For me, as Speaker of the National Council, it is really very, very important inviting the society, inviting experts, and having good discussions exactly in that place where we can say it's the middle of democracy in Austria, hopefully, I want to say. It is a key element of parliamentary democracy to debate issues and challenges of society in public, and I think this is a very public place, and I want to say in transparency. This is a main topic as well. As you can see in your printed invitation, we have a number of discussions around the topic of democracy this fall. Science and democracy share a set of values in this regard. The open exchange and confrontation of ideas is a guiding principle for science work. Where else then in the Parliament could this dialogue among equals best take place? For us parliamentarians to have practical relevance, science has to have a practical meaning and benefit. In debating the challenges and development of this society, we rely on the findings, providing in various disciplines a dialogue between Parliament or its members, to be more precise, and scientific institutions is therefore indispensable. This was one reason why I have recently established a series of televised events called Austria Tomorrow. Here in the Austrian Parliament, I would like to use these events to force the political elite to confront itself with scientific preconditions about the future. I can report to you that the opening event was a big success. At this occasion, Professor Lutz reported on his findings regarding Austria's demographic future, and it was really very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event is not about politics. It is taking place here at the Parliament, however, in order to underline the importance we attach to scientific work for our society as a whole. Let me take the opportunity to congratulate you, Professor Lutz, and your team on the foundation of the Wittgenstein Center for Demography and Global Human Capital. I also want to thank the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis, the Austrian Academy for Applied Sciences, and the Vienna University of Business and Economics for their invaluable contribution. Your efforts underline the relevance and reputation of Vienna as a city of scientific excellence and innovation. Last year, by the way, it was also close to the International Day of Democracy on the 15th of September. The German philosopher Hans Albert gave a lecture here at the Parliament on the role of the sciences in a modern democracy. Today we discuss the findings and implications of an important field of research, being the development of our societies. I wish you best of success for your deliberations, and thank you all for accepting the invitation for us here at the Austrian Parliament. It's really a highlight having you here, learning from you, hearing from you, and I cannot promise, but we try to take something from you. Thank you very much. Much success.
Thank you, Madam President. It is an honor for us to be here in this historic building and in this magnificent chamber, and you honor us by being here. I'm Bill Butz. I'm Director of Coordination and Outreach for the Wittgenstein Center, and it is my pleasure, on behalf of my colleagues at the Center, to welcome all of you, Madam President, the leaders of the three institutions that primarily support this center, all of the members of our board, our International Scientific Board of Advisors, which has already met today, our colleagues here in the Vienna area, our friends, our occasional relative, all of you here. We're delighted to have you, and I welcome you on behalf of the staff of the Wittgenstein Center. Well, the world is experiencing enormous demographic changes, population changes. In some countries, the populations are growing rapidly. In other countries, the populations are shrinking or about to shrink. And the challenges that this brings are challenges for aging, challenges of education, challenges of health, challenges of sustainable development, and as you have pointed out, Madam President, challenges for democracy as well. The task of the Wittgenstein Center is to address these challenges, not all of them, but a selection of them about which you'll hear as this symposium proceeds. And I welcome you to hear this discussion, and over time, hopefully to give us feedback as well. Let me begin by introducing the leaders of the three institutions that principally support the Wittgenstein Center, the three pillars, in fact, on which the center rests. And I'm going to introduce them now very briefly because I think many of you know who they are, and then they will come up one at a time to give their own perspectives on the relationship between their institutions and the Wittgenstein Center. First, we'll hear from Dr. Detlof von Winterfeldt. Detlof is director of IASA, of the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. Second, we'll hear from Dr. Sigrid Jalkotzy-Deger, who is vice president of the Austrian Academy of Sciences. And third, from Dr. Christopher Badelt, who is rector of the Vienna University of Economics and Business. And so we look forward to hearing from you. And before we do hear from you, let me say how much we all appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Wolfgang. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly a great pleasure to address this distinguished audience as the representative of the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis, which, as Bill said, is one of the three pillars of the brand new Wittgenstein Center for Demography and Global Human Capital, which, as you will probably hear later, came about as a result of Professor Wolfgang Lutz receiving the very famous Wittgenstein Award last year. IASA, as we call it, is an international, interdisciplinary, and independent research institute located since 1972, so almost 40 years ago, in the beautiful Schloss Luxemburg, just a few miles south of here. If you haven't visited us yet, please come. Our doors are always open. Our members are national academies and research foundations of 18 member countries from all over the world, representing almost 60% of the world population. Well, we do have China and India, so that helps quite a bit. We study some of the most important global problems, and our strategic plan includes studying energy and climate change, food and water security, and poverty and inequality. We use quantitative modeling and analysis to find solutions to these problems and to inform policymakers worldwide about options to improve human well-being and the environment. Coming to population and demography, all of our research activities require a sound understanding of population projections and analyses of demographic trends worldwide. In 1984, Professor Nathan Kiefitz, the pioneer of modern demography, joined IIASA to create its first population research program. Under his leadership, the methodology of multi-state demography was developed at IIASA. His successor, Professor Wolfgang Lutz, has brought this methodology to a new level by including demographic changes in age, gender, and education. This path-breaking work has led to fundamental insights into the importance of education, especially female education, for population growth, health, and well-being in the countries of this world. It is therefore with great pleasure that I welcome the creation of the Wittgenstein Center and congratulate Professor Lutz on his achievement, and IIASA is indeed very proud to be part of this enterprise. Thank you very much.
Madam President, Professor Lutz, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to speak to you on behalf of the Austrian Academy of Sciences, particularly since the Vienna Institute of Demography, the VID or VID, is part of the section of the Humanities and the Social Sciences, of which I have the honor to be the president. The Vienna Institute of Demography was founded at the Academy in 1975 and soon became a widely renowned center in the field of social studies. However, a particularly strong boost was set in motion in 2002 when Professor Wolfgang Lutz was appointed as director of the institute. Under his direction, research has been carried out in the fields of Austrian demography, of comparative European demography, on the economic consequences of aging in Europe. Moreover, groundbreaking work is done in the field of population dynamics and forecasting by advancing new methods such as probabilistic forecasting and multi-state models, and by developing general theoretical concepts of population dynamics. The outstanding scientific achievements of the Institute and its director have been richly rewarded. Professor Lutz received an ERC Advanced Grant in 2008, and in 2010, the Wittgenstein Prize, the highest Austrian science award, was given to him. 2 ERC starting grants were awarded to staff members of the VID. During a long period of collaboration with the IIASA, which we have just heard about, Professor Lutz already had added a global aspect to his own research as well as to the projects of the VID. The generous research funding associated with the Wittgenstein Prize, which went to Professor Lutz, has now made it possible to widen demography into a truly global perspective by establishing the new Wittgenstein Center for Demography and Global Human Capital. By its statute, the Austrian Academy of Sciences fulfills the mission of promoting the sciences in every respect. In the awareness of its social, cultural, and economic responsibility, the Academy promotes and conducts application-oriented basic research. Moreover, the new performance agreement between the Academy and the Republic of Austria, the field of demography has been positioned among the research priorities of the Academy. In fulfillment of this obligation, as well as in the spirit of its mission, the Austrian Academy has agreed to act as one of the 3 pillars on which the newly established Wittgenstein Center is based. Felicitating Professor Lutz and the directors and members of the Wittgenstein Center, I also extend my best wishes to the participants of the International Symposium on Demography, Education and Democracy, a Global Perspective. Thank you very much indeed.
Dear President, dear colleagues, as Rector of WU, the Vienna University of Economics and Business, I'm very grateful and honored having the chance to say a few words of welcome at this important symposium, which also serves as an opening ceremony for the new Wittgenstein Center for Democracy and Global Human Capital. WU is happy to serve as a pillar institution of the Wittgenstein Center. We have decided to do so not just because we are happy to have Professor Lutz on our faculty. There's also a strategic reason for our engagement in this matter. WU is the largest business university in Europe with about 26,000 students. But we are not only a large teaching institution, we are also an internationally oriented and internationally well-reputed university. Let me just quote the fact that we are the only Austrian university which is internationally accredited, that our programs have reached successful positions in the Financial Times ranking, and so on and so forth. Yet, it is our understanding that modern universities should not only look for success indicators within their academic community. This is valuable, but this is not sufficient. Modern universities, in our understanding, have a considerable responsibility vis-à-vis the society, and we are convinced that business universities have to stress this responsibility even more than other universities, given the critical role the business world has had in the recent crisis, both in a financial and in a social sense. There is a special responsibility of business universities to deal with these problems and to provide solutions. Business universities, therefore, have to look into the real large and severe problems of our society, and they have to work on solutions. They have to engage in public policy in that sense, both in a national and in an international context. This is not to say that we should become politicians. There is a clear division of labor between science and politics. But we should provide the analytical basis for decisions politicians should make and hopefully will make. The Wittgenstein Center for Democracy and Global Human Capital will be an excellent case in point for this attitude. In this institute, research will be done which will be relevant to society and which will help to advance key developments we desperately need in our society. Therefore, let me thank the initiator of the center, especially Professor Lutz. Let me thank the funding institutions. Let me thank the co-pillar institutions for sharing our efforts. Good luck for your work. All of us, literally all of us, look forward to applying your results in public policy. Thank you very much.